Since I launched the first trailer for my upcoming game Apples and Bananas and Steam still hasn't responded to my account creation stuff, I decided to start working on a new idea for a mobile game. That way when I tell someone I make games, I can just tell them the name of the game, and since everybody in the world ever has a phone, it will be accessible to literally anybody. But obviously I needed firstly to actually, make the game, because that's a pretty important part. So first of all, I obviously needed an idea. So I took a journey down to the App Store to see what games were the most popular. I looked at this monkey game and thought maybe I could make something like that, like a 2D endless runner or something. So then I began making notes and deciding what ideas were the best, and I decided on something to do with pirates and cannons. After a while of thinking, I kept imagining these polar opposites, like aliens fighting pirates, and I decided to scrap the whole endless runner idea. A little bit later, I thought of this cool idea where aliens would rain down from above and the player would be a pirate that would shoot down the aliens using a cannon. I thought this was a cool idea, so I began finally creating the project. The first thing I did was change the version to iOS because I really thought that I could just build the game for iPhone, but a few tutorials later I found out that it was just best to use Android platform for now. I then opened Sprite to get started on making the cannon sprite along with its animation. I then went back into Unity and made a sprites folder and dropped in the cannon that I also separated into two pieces, and you'll see why just in a sec. Then I made an empty game object, positioned it correctly, and gave it the cannon sprites. After configuring some more things like making the game in portrait mode, I took a look at what the gameplay would look like and adjusted it to my liking. I also added a green square to imitate what the grass would look like. I also added some more folders to keep my project organized. And now it was finally time to start coding the cannon, so I created a new script and called it Cannon Controller. Then I made it so when the left mouse button was clicked, which would also work as a tap on mobile, the cannon would shoot a bullet prefab. With all the coding set up, it was time to actually make the bullet. I tried it out and it was starting to actually work pretty well. Then I made it rotate in the direction that you're clicking and... After some tweaking, we went from this to this, which is a huge improvement. Then I added a background which made the game look way more appealing, and it was time to make the enemy. Or should I say, the enemy. My plan was simple. I wanted at least like 6 aliens in the first release of the game, and I wanted them to each be a different color and have different behaviors, kind of like the ghosts in Pac-Man. So I got to work and made our first alien, the green alien. Wait, where's he going? Come back! Where are you going? Okay, now we should be good. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. And just like that, another bug fixed. Then I added a canvas so I could make the UI, like the health bar and stuff. I then spent way too much time trying to figure out this stupid particle system just to scrap it later on. Like seriously, what a waste of time. After that, I finally cooked and made 2 new aliens, the red one that was stronger and the purple one that was faster but had less health. I also made this weird plankton looking dude. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him, but I'll see later on. I made it so now the cannon had a cooldown for every shot and also made a game over screen along with a health system with a little health indicator so you know when you're dying. Along with a cool little camera shake when you shoot, which was unfortunately scrapped later on. I also made up a pretty good use for Mr. Plankton and made a sprite for an enemy bullet that he would shoot at the player. Once everything was looking good, I decided to build it into an APK file for Android to test it out myself on my old Android phone. And it turned out, drumrolls please, like this. So yeah, the game ran pretty well on Android, as expected. After that, I upgraded the game over menu and also made a pause menu. Then I removed the camera shake because it was messing with the button clicking. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I also added this little pirate guy and he's the main character. And this is what the game looks like so far. But wait, this game doesn't really feel that beginner friendly. I started off by adding a little tutorial menu at the start of each level, basically explaining the objective and what each new enemy did. Then I added a little score counter that counted how many enemies you killed. I also designed a little logo for the game, and in my opinion, I think it looks pretty good. Then I began making a main menu by making a script so the buttons can load each level I make. Also made a little info screen talking about the studio that made this game, which if you didn't know is my game studio, Piggle Studios. You heard that right. Every game that I make will be part of the Piggle Studios game collection. And if you want to support us, you can subscribe to the official YouTube channel or donate to the Piggle Studios Patreon. Anyway, this is how the menu is looking like so far with the logo. I decided to name the game Space Cannon, and if you're wondering how that makes sense, you'll see why later on. I also began working on different backgrounds that would go in the back of different levels. Then I designed the second level, introducing the red alien, added some more upgrades to the main menu, and began working on some cutscenes that would play throughout the game as comics. Once again designed the third level, now introducing the purple alien, but there was still something missing. Adding sounds to a game is literally one of the most important things you can do. And after stealing some code from my last game, Apples and Bananas, which was really just me remembering this one part I forgot, I finally got the sound working. After I got that working, I began making a logo for the game on Canva. And then, for one of the coolest things I added to the game, the actual space cannon. This cannon shot faster but did less damage, and you would get to use it in the space levels. Speaking of which, I made it so in the story the FBI would give the pirate guy a new cannon and send him to space, which is how we ended up with this level design. I also added a new white version of the green alien that went straight down instead of moving side to side. And while I was at it, I also added a brown spiky alien that took 7 hits to defeat. Oh yeah, and before I forget, this is what the dark green plankton alien looks like shooting down the bullets at the player. And while I did eventually make the bullets go slower, when you hit the bullets with the cannonball, they will be destroyed instead of making it to the ground and dealing 1 damage. And for now, that's basically it. I still need to add like 2 more levels and finish off the extra levels, but after that, the game should be completely done and I will release it on Android and iOS. So if you want to know when exactly Space Cannon officially comes out, make sure to subscribe to the Piggle Studios YouTube channel because that's where we're going to post our game trailers. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching the first video here on the channel, and I hope to see you in the next as well.